today we're going to be talking about logic. When we talk about logic, we are talking about being able to make our case that something fits into one of the categories we've talked about in geometry, or that we're going to talk about. So normally when we think about somebody making their case, we think of like a lawyer trying to prove that somebody is innocent or guilty. We're going to be trying to prove, that a shape is a quadrilateral, or that it is a square, or it is an equilateral triangle, or that it's not one of those things. So in order to do that, we're going to have some statements. So that's our first term for today, is statement. And this is just going to be a sentence that can either be proven true or false. Okay, so this is just, you can think of it as a sentence. It may actually be a sentence fragment, but it's going to have, in general, a subject of some sort and then some sort of description about that. So, for example, my statement here says an elephant is a mammal. Okay, so it is a sentence in this case, not even a fragment, and it's just a statement that we can prove either true or false. Okay, so that's going to bring me to our next term, and our next term is truth value, and so we're going to be using the same example sentence, only this time we're going to be talking about a truth value. And the truth value is either going to be true or false. Those are our only two options. And when we're just talking about a single statement, you just read it and you decide, is it a true statement? Is it a false statement? So we're talking about an elephant being a mammal. That is true. And so our truth value here would be true. So anytime it asks you for a truth value, you're just saying either true or false. If the statement is true, then you write true. If it's false, you would write false. Like if it said an elephant is a type of spider, then you would know that's false. Okay? We can also, when we're talking about a statement, we can actually do what's called, we can negate that statement. And so the term we're looking at in our book is negation. And it should make you think of the word negative, because that's essentially what we're doing, is we are adding a negative word into a statement. So it's going to give a statement a negative meaning and an opposite truth value. So it gives a statement an opposite meaning and truth value. And in order to negate a statement, all we're going to be doing is adding the word not in. Sometimes it's the word no, but 99% of the time it's the word not. So if we're looking at an example down here, we're taking our previous statement, an elephant is a mammal, and we're adding in the word not. So we're saying an elephant is not, and I'm capitalizing that here so you can see it, a mammal. Okay, so you'll notice we've added the word not in here, and guess what? This is also going to change our truth value, because now this is a false statement. Okay, because elephants still are mammals. Okay. So these are all simple statements. The next thing we're going to look at is a compound statement. So a compound statement is going to be if we combine two or more statements together. Okay, so compound statement, we are going to combine. Compound just means that we're putting more than one thing together. So we're combining two or more statements. Okay. And so when we combine these statements, we're going to be using one of two words. right? And so the words that we can use to combine those statements are the word and or the word or. And I like to think of my compound statements as like an umbrella. So I'm going to draw you a pretty little picture here. So this is going to be my umbrella. Okay. And if we use the word and to combine our sentence, then this is going to be called a conjunction. Okay, so this would be like an elephant is a mammal and it eats hay. Okay, that would be a conjunction. If we use the word or to combine our two statements, this is called a disjunction. And an example of that would be an elephant eats hay or it is a mammal. Okay? And I promise you on some of these the books always have some that just don't sound like they make a lot of sense, and it's okay. They're trying to make a couple of points with the truth values. We're going to talk about those in just a minute, about how those work with the compound statements. But the important thing here is to know if you're combining two statements using and, then you have a conjunction. If you're combining them using the word or, you have a disjunction. Okay, so you just have to really identify those. I also want to talk about some notations that we're going to be using. So you might get something like this. Or you might have something like this. Or you could have something like this. Okay. A couple of things here. They may use the word and or in between, and they're going to give you the statements listed out. So what they would have for you would be like P and then a statement, and Q and then a statement, and then R and then a statement. And they're just telling you how they want you to combine them. So for our first example here, they want you to write down whatever that first P statement is, and you write the word and then you would write this last statement R. And they just want you to plug it in. That's all they're talking about on there. Okay. If we're looking at our second example here, and don't worry, I'm going to give you some examples in just a moment with actual sentences in there. Okay. If we're looking at our second example here, you're going to notice two new symbols. The first, this is a caret that's pointing up. So that's the same button that we use to do our exponents. If you need a bigger exponent than 2, it's the same button as the 6 key on your keyboard when you hit shift. It's the same button as that. And it means and. Okay. The down arrow that you see right below it in this example, this one means or. Okay, so if you have the up arrow, it's a conjunction. The down arrow is a disjunction. The last little symbol you're going to notice here is the little tilde sign. I'm going to put it on a couple of these. And it means not. It means that we're going to have a negation. Okay, so again, they could use words or they can use symbols for these. So you'll just see those, both of those. Okay, so let's look at an example here. You'll notice that they've given you 3 statements. Each statement has its own letter. So you have P, Q, and R. And they've told us that they would like us to write this as P and Q. So it says P is 1 foot is 4 inches. So that's where we start. 1 foot is 14 inches. And, okay, so that means we have to have the word and. Q says September has 30 days. Okay. So on here, you'll notice we have a sentence now. 1 foot is 14 inches and September has 30 days. And they're going to ask you about the truth value of this statement. And so you will know the truth value based on each individual part. So we have to decide, are these parts true or false? So is it true that 1 foot is 14 inches? No, it is not. 1 foot is 12 inches, not 14 inches. Okay, September has 30 days. That is true. September does have 30 days. Now the key is going to be, if even one part is wrong, one part here is wrong, that means that the truth value of this statement is false. Okay, so if even one part is false, then the conjunction is false. Okay, and so that's really important information, and we'll do some practice problems tomorrow in class. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.